So I have a few notes on the new segment before we begin. I've obviously made a lot of videos on noodle places during my time on YouTube, and those videos will be unofficially included in the new playlist and segment. They just won't have this cool new intro. Speaking of... What's up, fellow nudists? Welcome to Slurpin Across Japan, the best segment on Bubby Eats where I talk about and rate different noodle restaurants and let you know if it's a smash or pass. We're on a mission to find the most mind-blowing, taste bud tickling bowls of noodles in the country. So grab your chopsticks, loosen your belt buckles, and let's get slurpin'. Kuma Corp, I want you to take yourselves back in time with me. It's 2019, the sun is shining, the wanderlust is in full swing, and the global panini has yet to happen. Well, that was the first time I visited this wonderful place, and if you're an OG viewer, you probably have already seen the video I've done on this spot. But like any good and self-respecting YouTuber that wants to remake older poorly made videos, I'm recycling content, baby! But I'm not just recycling content, I also want to provide you all interesting facts and corrections. For instance, in my older video on Human Beings Everybody Noodles, I erroneously guessed the meaning behind the name. I made the assumption that the translation of the name Jinrui Minna Menrui meant that this restaurant was meant to be the people's noodle. Nope, it actually means that humans are noodles. Strange, but after digging a little deeper, I found that the group that owns this place, Untitled, seems to have a fondness for odd naming conventions. That aside, Human Beings Everybody Noodles, I'm gonna just use the English name from here on out, is the first store that was open all the way back in April of 2012. Fast forwarding to 2024, Untitled has expanded greatly, and I'm not just talking about expanding to their bigger and better location for Human Beings Everybody Noodles, a few spots down from the old one. They've expanded to the point where they have their own brand of stores, expanding their repertoire to include cafes, dandan noodle places, sugamen places with multiple new shops, one of which I have been to and posted about on my channel as a short. Their list of stores they own was so shocking to me, but now I have a burning desire to try all of their other shops, so if you want to see that happen on YouTube, consider subscribing to help me get monetized. So if you're still here and haven't clicked away from my video yet, I'm sure you're wondering, how is Human Beings Everybody Noodles? Well, let's get into it. In 2019, I found myself thinking that Human Beings Everybody Noodles was my favorite bowl of ramen to date. In 2024, I can't say that this still remains the case, but Human Beings Everybody Noodles still, after over a decade, does not disappoint. To prepare you for your visit, loyal nudists, let me just quickly explain their menu, which thankfully isn't all that complex. You have essentially 3 different options to choose from. Number 1, the Ramen Genten, which is their original ramen. It's a shoyu ramen made with bonito. The Ramen Micro, which is also a shoyu ramen. The only difference between this and the Genten is that the micro doesn't use bonito, so it's more of a raw soy sauce taste. And number 3, the macro. This is a shellfish ramen, and anecdotally, this is the first time I had a seafood-based ramen in Japan back in 2019. All these ramen will come with the same noodles, which are amazing, and I'll talk about later: chashu, negi, and menma. There are add-ons, but I sort of like the simplicity of the base option. The last important thing to know is that you can adjust the thickness of your chashu with 3 different options: thin cut, thick cut, and thick, which is absolutely enormous, by the way, and shown on screen now. The prices are all the same for the 3 different options, with the price only changing for the chashu option, and those prices will be also shown on screen now. You can also make these a set for a few hundred yen extra, ranging from 100 to 150 to get rice, a small pork bowl, or gyoza. Honestly, definitely worth it, make it a set. Side menu options are also available, but these options are essentially just the same as the set menu options, with a larger portion and subsequently higher cost. Well, now that you know the basics, let's get down to the ratings. Flavor, obviously, gotta be an A. The flavor of the macro ramen, which I spoke on earlier, is probably one of the best seafood/shellfish based ramens you can get in Japan. It is easily the most popular option here, and for good reason. The broth isn't too fishy for the average person, and provides such an interesting and delectable contrast when you eat it with the chashu. The Genten and Micro are obviously similar, as only one ingredient is really missing between the two, but they really couldn't be more different. I've had both, and I would have to say that I prefer the Genten over the Micro, even though it seems that the Micro is highly rated. The micro itself is great, but I'm not great with very salty foods, and for me, it's just a bit too much. It's certainly a flavor that you should try, as it's so different from other shoyu ramen out there, but if you're like me and can't handle overly salty food, get the Genten. It's similar to the shoyu ramen you could find anywhere else in flavor profile, but certainly not in quality, as there's a reason why Human Beings Everybody Noodles is in the top 3 best ramen in Osaka, according to Tabelog. For mouthfeel, I think I can fairly rate this an A. The noodle experience here is incredible with just the right amount of slurpability and chew. I've had a lot of noodles in my time, and as far as I'm concerned, Human Beings Everybody Noodles probably has my favorite noodle overall. The soup isn't too thick or oily across the board, and is definitely more on the hearty and comforting side as far as broths go. Although I put the prices on screen earlier, I just want to state at the time of editing this video, the prices have gone up a little since my first visit in 2019 and my subsequent visit in early 2023 when this video was filmed. Even so, the prices are honestly so affordable at under 1,000 yen per bowl for the smallest chashu option that I can't give Human Beings Everybody Noodles anything other than an A for value. I certainly can't deny that since my initial visit in 2019, the quality of Human Beings Everybody Noodles has gone down a bit. Honestly, it just didn't hit the same for me when I went in 2023. That being said, I still truly believe that this has to be my favorite ramen place in Osaka so far. Looking at my grades for my 3 criteria, we're averaging at an A, and I can happily say that I can still to this day rate Human Beings Everybody Noodles certified BUBS. So my fellow nudists, thank you for watching this first official episode of Slurpin Across Japan. I've got a few more videos left in my backlog, so stay tuned for those. 2023 was the first year of the channel, and we're now a year old. Unfortunately, I didn't really release as much long-form content on the channel last year that I wanted to, and this year I really hope I can remedy that. As always, many thanks to those of you who have subscribed to the channel. We're inching closer and closer to the 500 subscriber goal, so if you haven't already, get subscribed, click the bell icon so you can be notified for future videos I've got coming soon. If you've got a travel or food companion, don't forget to share the video with them to help me please the algorithm overlords. If you have any recommendations for me, please feel free to recommend some spots for my next trip, but for now, as always, stay hungry.